Hey everybody, welcome to the Sky Lounge, and this is Cruise Peruse episode number 81. My goodness, yes, we are on episode number 81. Boys and girls, it is July 1st, 2019. I know the NHL free agency is about to, start up, and there's going to be a lot of fun rumors and things happening, but we got to talk about the NBA free agency that happened yesterday. So, pretty much starting around midday yesterday, Pacific Standard Time, there was so much shit going on in the NBA. And the whole thing was, I was actually in theaters watching the Avengers Endgame reissue because, yes, I'm that kind of fucking psychopath. I don't care if it's an unfinished deleted scenes product, I'm still gonna watch it. And the whole purpose of why they even did that reissue was to push out and promote the fucking Blu-ray. Like, how the fuck are people not understanding that shit? And for people complaining about it, like, listen, Avatar did the same thing about a year or so spread out. So if you're gonna fucking blame Endgame, look at the fucking Avatar movies and put your middle fingers there first. But while all that was happening, the NBA free agency decided to start amok. And boys and girls, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a lot of pieces that we can talk about, and we will absolutely talk about here on this episode. But yeah, I gotta say flat out, before we start with this episode, if anything, New York Knicks fans, take the L. You guys are taking the biggest fucking L out of everybody and anybody, and I'm including even the Lakers, man. I mean, the Lakers have been a fucking mess. Yes, we traded all our entire core, but my God, I mean, in the stretch of a year, the Knicks went from, all right, doesn't seem so bad. You got Porzingis, you got a decent draft pick, and Frank Nikola, I do not know his name. That European kid that they drafted. And did they have Kevin Knox? I have no idea. But yeah, the Knicks, despite conjecturing and, tooting their own horns, saying they're going to get Zion in the draft, they actually landed with a number 3 overall pick with R.J. Barrett. They fucking filleted themselves into thinking they're going to get KD and Kyrie. They signed with the Brooklyn Nets. And now the Brooklyn Nets look absolutely formidable with DeAndre Jordan as the third star. But we'll get to them in a little bit. But the Knicks, what do they do? What do the Knicks do? The Knicks signed Julius Randle, Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis, and Reggie Bullock to lucrative contracts to fill out the $67.2 million in cap space. Oh my God, if there ever was a bigger fucking laugh than James Dolan and the New York Knicks. My God, Knicks, take a fucking bow. You guys are terrible. You guys are fucking terrible. First of all, you want me to have any sort of sympathy for the Knicks? I don't. You threw away a unicorn in Kristaps Porzingis. You fuckers deserve this shit. And I know fans aren't the ones that pulled the trigger, but guess what? James Dolan owns your team. I fucking hate James Dolan. Owners like that are the reason why teams are shit. All right? That's ultimately it. Or that's why the teams are crippled. And even if they have a transcendent, generational talent, somehow the Knicks always fuck it up. I feel like the Knicks will always fuck this up somehow. And yeah, no matter what you have on your roster, Knicks, I gotta tell you, I really gotta tell you, there's nothing that's gonna happen with the Knicks. The East just got stronger, all on its own in the span of a day. The East, teams that didn't have the superstars, teams that didn't have those big names, they already had depth. And let's talk about them. The Brooklyn Nets. While the Knicks are the biggest fucking laughingstock, today, and they've been a laughingstock since 1973. Let's be honest. All right, let's be honest. They've been a laughingstock since they won with like the guys like Clyde the Glide, is it? Yeah. Walt Frazier, all these guys. They haven't meant shit. I'm sorry. The Knicks haven't done anything as of the last 10 years. If you're gonna quote me, if you're gonna say Linsanity, go fuck yourself. Linsanity was a 2-month period of bullshit, hyping up on New York media and probably ESPN. I don't fucking into that shit one bit. But let's stop bashing at the Knicks. and offer some congratulations to the Nets. Because, boys and girls, in my recollection, the Nets have always been a disaster. The Nets have always been a laughingstock. That's the team that the Lakers swept in 2002. Yeah, the New Jersey Nets. Now they are the Brooklyn Nets, more or less owned by Jay-Z, let's be honest. And they signed Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Jordan in the free agency of 2019. A clean sweep of solid stars. Now, a huge asterisk has to be put on there. Now, I know everybody right now, today, waking up, are going to praise the Brooklyn Nets, and that's going to be the ultimate winners of this free agency. But let me give you a huge asterisk onto the Brooklyn Nets. KD is going to be out for a year. All right, he signed that 4-year contract, but the reality is KD is out for a year. That Achilles injury is probably not going to bring him back to 100%, unfortunately. But if you even get back an 80% level KD of what he used to be, you're still going to get an amazing product on the court for 3 years. And so really, this first year for KD is going to be acclimating to the culture, getting used to the team, team setting and everything. Because, yeah, that first year, he's not going to play. And we put another asterisk under Kyrie. Kyrie is an injury-prone point guard of the last, good Lord, how many years? Kyrie's been around 7-some-odd years in the league right now, and he has been absolutely injury-prone every single year. And that is the worry the Brooklyn Nets have to, embrace. You got two guys who are, one who's injury-prone, and the other who just suffered a horrendous injury. And you got a DeAndre Jordan who's almost always questionable. You might get some good product from him here and there, but I'll tell you what, if healthy and with an 80% or let's say for argument's sake a 90% healthy Kevin Durant, this team is on paper an Eastern Conference finalist for the next 3 years. I can guarantee you that. But this is going to be all contingent upon how how healthy everybody is. It really is contingent on how healthy everybody is going to be. Now, also, the reason why I mentioned depth earlier is because, yes, with D'Angelo Russell, the Brooklyn Nets were fantastic last season. They got to the first round of the playoffs. They got dick punched after winning, I believe, 1 game, right? But subtract D'Angelo Russell. All those role players for the Brooklyn Nets have been spectacular throughout this last year and a half. And so for the Nets, I'd have to be very positive and optimistic. Despite not having KD, despite having a Kyrie Irving that may, be injured throughout the season, because it's a long season. It's 82 games. Injuries will likely happen. You are still looking at a really solid Eastern Conference team. And I won't lie to you. I really like what the Nets have done. I just will say everybody should just pump the brakes a little bit. Kind of a similar situation brewing with the Lakers, right? You got 2 superstars and DeAndre Jordan, who I would equivalent to about, a Kuzma level in terms of actual basketball skills. I know the resume will suggest DeAndre Jordan's a better player, but I would strongly argue that Kuzma is marginally better. Now, with all of that, it's one of those things where the narrative drives everything, and the sports media does drive the narrative hard. There's a lot of Lakers hate, and I'm not stupid. I'm not an idiot. Most of these fucking media shows are based on the East Coast, and even if they're based on the West Coast, there's a lot of favoritism towards the Clippers because they haven't won shit, and apparently sports is about poverty and loving the weak. I don't know what the fuck that's all about. But the Nets do this thing where, yeah, Kevin Durant, Kyrie joins up, and they take less money so DeAndre Jordan could play for 4 years, $40 million, which to me, that's a bit much, but they're praised as good teammates, yada, yada, yada. When Anthony Davis does the same thing without taking, taking $4 million less, it's already, the narratives are already so, like, They're sewn in. Oh, this is some back-ended shit. Oh, the Lakers are cheating. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? I'm pretty sure fucking Jay-Z and all those motherfuckers in Rock Nation are like fucking kicking them some goddamn bribery money. Like, we're fucking foolish if we think nobody works like that. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm pretty sure every fucking sports team does some shady ass shit. It's just that people want to hate on the Lakers. Like, that's the whole thing. And call it delusional, call it whatever you want. But the reality is, when you have a history of winning, right? When you have proven to teams throughout decades that you're a winning franchise. And I know in this last decade we've been horrible, but when you've proven to everybody between 2000 and 2010 that you are one of the most dominant houses in the NBA, you're going to generate a lot of hate, a lot of ire, and you can hear the narratives now. Everyone just shitting on the Lakers, and we don't know what the hell's going to happen at the end of free agency. Kawhi Leonard has stopped taking meetings on Sunday. It was announced early in the afternoon, but the deals weren't even done. Free agency kept going, and as I talked about, the Nets being the clear winners, quote-unquote winners of free agency, landing KD and Kyrie. But I want to talk about some other teams. If the deal went through, I'm not sure at this point at 8 o'clock, at 8:04 in the morning on July 1st, that the Miami Jimmy Butler situation was done. But I thought if that trade was true, Miami looked like a solid team to compete in the East again. The Celtics, to be honest, I think the Celtics look solid. They shed a lot of players. They did. They let go of a lot of players, but the whole idea now is Brad Stevens can, with Kemba Walker, Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, they can start their own core and build up, and I believe they can. People always forget Brad Stevens is a pretty solid head coach. Jason Tatum, despite the lackluster second sophomore year that he had, I think he's still a talent. You're going to see this kid rise up, and it's going to be really scary. Some of these players, I'm telling you fucking write them off, but they'll come back with a vengeance. And my money is on the Dallas Mavericks to do some wild shit over the next season. I believe the Dallas Mavericks got stronger over this past free agency. And again, if the trade isn't true, it isn't true. But the whole report yesterday that came out was Goran Dragic was going to go to the Mavs, which meant that was just going to be a European house. The Mavs are just going to be a European house. And news just came flowing through. It's crazy because a lot of these teams, some of the reports, aren't 100% yet. But some of these reports, we can feel and vibe out how true it is. And the one fucking late report that came out yesterday that surprised a lot of people was the Golden State Warriors signing D'Angelo Russell. And they traded Andre Iguodala for a first-round pick. I gotta say, if you're a Warriors fan and you're bummed out about KD leaving, don't be. I'd honestly tell you, and I'd be more bummed out that you lost Iggy. For a first-round pick, that's nice, but what Iggy brought to the team, it's hard to say. It's hard to say how much he's brought to the team, and you're losing a big piece. You're absolutely losing a big piece. What you get back in D'Angelo Russell, an offensive powerhouse, you're going to get a kid who will score a lot of points, but defensively will lack that effort. I've seen, and I know people will talk about his game maturing, but he was on his contract year. Watch him play next to Steph Curry. He's going to get 20 points a game, probably. On a great night, him and Steph will probably combine for 70 points, because you have to remember, Klay Thompson is going to be out for about half or two-thirds of the season. And so, yeah, if you're a Warriors fan, man, I mean, you guys aren't completely dead yet. That's the reality. You guys aren't completely dead yet, but this pretty much equates to starting from scratch, more or less. You still got Steph, you still got Klay, locked in for a long time, but it's going to be another identity thing. The last 3 years has been KD and the gang. really, if you want to be really honest about the last 3 years of the NBA, it has been KD's choice of whether he wants to win or lose, and it was pretty much the championship was contingent upon KD staying healthy or not, and we saw it through these last 3 years, and now the Warriors have an opportunity to build their brand again. Splash Brothers, fast-paced basketball. It's that 73-win team. We get to really see what the Warriors are made of from this point on. Is Steve Kerr an actual good head coach? Because to be honest, man, that 2019 Finals, I'm watching Steve Kerr. I'm watching him choke that game away. Each game in that series, I saw him choke it away. So the Warriors have a very fun thing to prove beyond the 2019 Finals. Other teams, man, I mean, yeah, dude, I gotta tell you, man, the Knicks just losing it on free agency day was probably the funniest thing, because there were other big acquisitions. There really were. I'm not trying to discount anybody else. I mean, D Rose to the Pistons, Malcolm Brogdon to the Pacers, Chris Middleton signing that fucking insane contract for the Bucks, which I believe is going to bite them in the ass one of these days. Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson getting signed to max contracts by their respective teams. Kudos to those boys. Jamal Murray getting paid. Listen, boys and girls, the free agency was crazy, and to try to catch up with every bit of news was even more intense, but I'm trying to provide the best I can, boys and girls, because there were a lot of news, there were a lot of stories, but again, I always come back to this. 2019 free agency was really capped off by the L's that the Knicks took. Seriously, all the fucking L's you can imagine, they took it. James Dolan flat out telling the media they didn't want to pay Kevin Durant max money because of that injury. What have I said, boys and girls? Even with the injury, you have to fucking pay Kevin Durant. That dude is, as much as I don't like all the shit he's done, all the little fucking burner accounts, all the goddamn talks, all the goddamn shit talking he does, his game speaks for itself. He's a solid player. Durantula for a reason. But what do you do, Knicks? What do you do? Give all the excuses in the world, shit the bed, and cries wolf. So, as a Lakers fan and as a basketball fan, I could only laugh at James Dolan. And as a Lakers fan, I can only hope good things will happen. And I know a lot of fans who are watching this right now who aren't Lakers fans are probably shaking their heads like, go fuck yourself, you goddamn Lakers fan. But guess what, motherfucker? I want that 17th ring. You know how we get that 17th ring? We sign Kawhi. And so, boys and girls, the next few days of free agency for both the NHL and the NBA are going to be interesting. They're going to be nuts. So follow me at the Sky Lounge on all the links in the description below for more shit like this on a day-to-day basis for the Cruise Peruse. Like, comment, subscribe for more daily contents.